Today, I want to be someone else. Maybe an artist. Tomorrow, I think I'll be an athlete. And at the weekend, perhaps a musician. Every day, you wake up as someone slightly different. Not enough to notice, but enough to matter. The way you dress, the way you speak, the way you carry yourself. Each is a decision, silent and automatic, a calculation about who you need to be today. We think of identity as something fixed, a single name, a solid shape, an answer. But identity has always been a negotiation, a quiet act of translation between how you see yourself and how you want the world to see you. And if you really think about it, every one of us has become an expert in the art of becoming someone else. When people say, be yourself, they never explain which version they mean. The one you are around your friends, the one you are at work, the one that exists only in your head. Humans have always adapted to survive. Thousands of years ago, it wasn't an idea, it was instinct. A tribe could exile you for standing out too much. So you learned to listen before speaking. You mirrored the language of the group. You performed belonging. It's the oldest survival strategy we have. We call it social intelligence. Psychologists call it masking. But really, it's just human nature learning how to breathe in different rooms. Long before cameras and filters, people understood the power of transformation. In ancient Egypt, masks weren't just decoration, they were identity. Gold leaf faces placed over the dead to immortalize who they were supposed to be. Even in life, image mattered. A person's appearance, posture, and symbols defined their place in the world. Your presentation was your truth. In ancient Rome, senators practiced expressions before entering the forum. They rehearsed empathy, humility, dominance, as if personality were theatre. The word persona itself came from the Latin word personare, to sound through. It referred to the masks worn by actors in Roman plays. Through those masks, the actor's voice carried to the crowd. The mask wasn't hiding them, it was a device that made them heard. Even then, people understood. You have to amplify a part of yourself to be seen at all. Centuries passed and costumes changed. The Renaissance merchants dressed for credibility. Victorian women used fashion to communicate restraint, modesty, wealth. In the 1920s, identity became performance art, a visual rebellion against who you were expected to be. Every era built its own language of appearance, and every generation inherited the same unspoken rule. Be who they need you to be, or risk being invisible. By the 20th century, mass media industrialized image making. Actors, politicians, and pop icons turned self-presentation into strategy. Andy Warhol once said, "I am a deeply superficial person." He understood that we all secretly know that identity sells. And authenticity is a currency no one can really verify. Then came the internet. At first, it felt like freedom, a space where you could be anyone. A username instead of a name, an avatar instead of a face. But anonymity didn't erase performance, it multiplied it. Now, we don't just wear one mask at a time. We rotate through dozens. One for Instagram, one for work, one for the group chat that never leaves you alone. We curate fragments of ourselves until even we forget which version came first. Online, identity became a constant audition. Every post is a resume. Every opinion is a branding choice. Every silence, a statement. The algorithms reward transformation. They promote whoever reinvents fastest. And so we adapt, endlessly, effortlessly, until adaptation itself becomes identity. We used to ask children what they want to be. Now we ask what they want to look like. If ancient Rome had its forum, we have our feed. In this new theatre, image is no longer decoration, it's existence. To stop posting feels like erasing yourself. To stay visible, you must keep performing. But the line between performance and personhood is thin. When your reflection becomes content, it stops reflecting, it advertises. Sociologists call this the performative self. The idea that we no longer live to experience, we live to be perceived. It sounds bleak, but it's not new. In every empire, from Egypt to Rome to Hollywood, visibility was the highest form of survival. Only the visible could be remembered. But there's a cost to constant reinvention. The more selves you create, the harder it becomes to rest in any of them. You start to speak like a translation of your thoughts. You edit even the things that used to be spontaneous. You stop doing things for how they feel and start doing them for how they'll look later. It's subtle but exhausting. Psychologists call it identity fatigue. That quiet sense of disconnection that comes from managing too many versions of yourself. You feel it when you scroll through your own photos and sense a stranger looking back. When you replay an old voicemail and notice how your voice used to sound lighter. When you can't remember if you actually enjoyed a moment or if you were too busy documenting it. The irony is, the more we try to appear real, the less real we feel. Still, we keep doing it because reinvention offers something we all crave: control. The power to decide how we are seen, to edit what others can hurt. And sometimes, that's not vanity, it's survival. A kid changing their accent to fit in. A person rebuilding themselves after heartbreak. A worker softening their tone to be taken seriously. Reinvention protects. It allows us to move between worlds without breaking. Every transformation hides a small story of self-defense. The danger comes when the mask starts wearing you. Maybe the real reason we keep becoming someone else is because humans are narrative creatures. We can't stand static existence. We need arcs, beginnings, middles, ends. But even that isn't new. Ancient Egyptians painted their lives on tomb walls, carefully curating how they'd be remembered. Roman generals commissioned sculptures showing perfect bodies, even when they were scarred from battle. Every generation edits its legacy. We just do it with computers. So maybe the challenge isn't to stop performing, because pretending to be static would be another act. Maybe the real challenge is learning when to pause, to stop mid-sentence and notice which version of you is speaking, to realize that change isn't the enemy of truth, forgetting is, because there's a difference between growth and replacement. Imagine for a second that no one was watching. Who would you be then?